All right, so you're ready to like jump back into Arrakis after Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
Well, you brought a really cool article with you.
I did.
From a Spanish website, Mera Station.
Right.
And it's all in Spanish, of course, but we've got you covered.
Yeah, we got the translation ready to go.
Yeah, we got a translation, so don't worry about that. But it tackles some really big questions.
It does.
About, where this whole saga is headed.
Yeah.
How many films are we going to get?
Yeah, are we going past the first book?
Are we going beyond the first book? And like the big question everybody wants to know is,
when are we getting Part 3?
Yeah, when is Dune Part 3 coming out?
It's no surprise there's so much buzz around this.
I know.
I mean, Dune is just like the perfect material for adaptation.
It is.
I mean, you've got the world building, you've got the political intrigue.
It's massive.
The philosophical questions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a filmmaker's dream. And Denis Villeneuve seems to be like approaching this with the reverence it deserves.
Absolutely.
He's the right guy for the job.
Yeah. He's the perfect director for this.
It seems like it.
And this article from Mera Station actually revealed something kind of fascinating.
What's that?
Villeneuve actually initially envisioned adapting Dune and Dune Messiah as a trilogy.
Oh, wow.
So the first 2 books as a trilogy.
Interesting.
But remember, he split the first book into 2 films.
Right.
So he's really talking about 3 films to cover 2 books.
Yeah, so essentially a trilogy to adapt 2 books.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's interesting because that implies a very specific scope.
It does.
For the overall adaptation.
Yeah.
Dune is a hefty book.
Yeah, that's a big one.
But Dune Messiah is considerably shorter.
Yeah, it is.
So that kind of makes you wonder, could Villeneuve really do justice to Dune Messiah in a single film?
That's a great question. I mean, how do you cram all that into one film?
Yeah, and it makes you think about the pacing, too. It does. Would Dune Part 3 feel more focused compared to the first 2? Maybe it would delve deeper into the characters and like the political landscape.
Yeah, I mean, we might see a shift from those grand sweeping desert vistas to something a little more intimate.
Oh, interesting.
Like think more political maneuvering.
Yeah.
More of those internal struggles for Paul Atreides.
Right. And since we're talking about Part 3, let's get to the burning question everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
When is it going to come out? When will it arrive?
When is it coming out?
This article suggests 2028.
Okay.
Maybe even 2030.
Wow. So maybe a little while.
Yeah, so Villeneuve might be taking a little break.
A well-deserved one, I'm sure.
Before tackling this next chapter, and I don't blame him.
No. I mean, directing a film like Dune is a massive undertaking.
Oh, it's huge.
It's a huge film.
That's got to be exhausting.
It's got to be so, I mean, just capturing the essence of this world on screen takes time.
Oh, yeah.
So this potential delay could actually be a benefit.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Imagine the detail, the world building that could be achieved with that extra time.
That's true. He's got more time to think about it. Yeah, I agree. And it is reassuring to know that quality isn't being sacrificed for speed.
Right. Absolutely.
But in the meantime, Dune Part 2 is getting some serious praise.
Yeah. I've heard it's amazing.
Yeah.
What did Mera Station have to say about it?
They called it an extraordinary experience.
Wow.
Really highlighted the stunning visuals.
I bet.
And the score.
Yeah.
They said it becomes one with the sands of Arrakis.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's high praise.
It is.
The score in the first one was phenomenal.
It was so good.
Yeah. Music can really make or break a film's atmosphere.
Oh, for sure.
And Hans Zimmer is a master at immersing you in a world through sound. Right. So, I mean, if he's managed to do that again for the second film, that's really exciting.
I'm so excited to hear it. Yeah, the score is practically a character in itself.
It is.
So while we wait for Part 3, we have a lot to savor.
We do.
The first 2 films.
Yeah.
The books. And like endless possibilities for what's to come.
That's right.
So what stood out to you from this article?
Well, one of the things that I thought was really interesting was this idea of a contained story for Dune Part 3.
Oh, yeah.
It makes you think about Villeneuve's vision.
Yeah, what is he thinking?
Yeah. Is he streamlining the narrative to focus on like specific themes? Or is he going to use this opportunity to go deeper into the source material in a way that he just couldn't with the sprawling epic of Dune?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I'm especially curious how he's going to handle the complexities of Dune Messiah.
Yeah.
Particularly the political and philosophical elements within a potentially shorter runtime.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. That's a big challenge.
It is.
Yeah.
But maybe we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Maybe.
Before we delve too deeply into part 3,
okay,
let's rewind a bit and revisit why adapting Dune in the first place is such a challenge.
That's a good point, because it's a massive book.
It's huge.
And so much to it.
Yeah.
I mean, Dune is way more than just sandworms and spice.
Yeah.
It's a dense, multi-layered work with, all this intricate detail about the ecology of Arrakis,
right,
the Fremen culture,
yeah,
the political factions that are vying for power.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's a lot to juggle.
It's a lot to juggle.
And then there's the philosophical depth, the exploration of prescience and destiny.
Right.
Those are really tough concepts to translate visually.
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to Villeneuve's skill as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
That he's managed to bring this world to life so vividly.
He has.
While still staying relatively true to the source material.
Like, he's done a great job so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. But this also brings up another discussion point. Villeneuve's decision to deviate from the source material sometimes.
Yeah. He's made some changes.
He has.
In these first 2 films.
Yeah.
And that raises questions about how faithful he'll be to Dune Messiah. Particularly given the potential for a more contained story.
Yeah, that's a good point.
This is where things get really intriguing.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. Tell me more.
Yeah. This is where things get really intriguing. This article actually translates Villeneuve's quote about why he's sticking to a trilogy.
Oh.
He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, for my mental sanity.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you can practically hear the weight of this project in his words.
You really can. I mean, it gives you a sense of the immense pressure involved in adapting something like Dune.
For sure.
Something so beloved by so many people.
Yeah.
And it really speaks to his dedication.
It does.
He's clearly not taking this lightly.
Yeah.
He really wants to get it right.
It's that dedication that shines through in these films.
I think so. Think about how he's handled the visual effects, the world building.
Oh, it's stunning.
It's also meticulously crafted.
Yeah, he didn't shy away from the challenge.
No, he didn't.
Of bringing Arrakis to life.
And all of its complexity.
I mean, all the detail.
Yeah.
Remember that scene in part 1 where Paul first experiences a sandworm attack?
Oh my gosh.
The sheer scale of that.
I know.
The sound design.
It was amazing.
It was a masterclass in creating this sense of awe and terror.
Yeah.
And that level of detail just extends to every aspect of this film.
It does.
I mean, from the costumes to the sets.
Everything, yeah.
It's incredible.
But it's not just a visual spectacle either.
No, it's not.
Villeneuve manages to capture the philosophical depth of Dune as well.
He really does.
Those themes of prescience and destiny and choice, they're woven into the fabric of the story.
Yeah, and that's where Dune Messiah gets really interesting.
It does.
It takes those themes and just flips them on their head.
Oh, wow.
Paul's journey in the second book, it's much darker, much more introspective. He's grappling with the consequences of his actions, the burden of leadership, and like this realization that prescience doesn't necessarily equal control.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm most curious to see in Dune Part 3.
Yeah.
Is how Villeneuve handles that shift in tone. Will he lean into like the psychological aspects of the story?
Right.
Will we see a more vulnerable, maybe even tragic side to Paul Atreides?
Yeah, it's definitely a departure from like the hero's journey that we saw in Dune. Dune Messiah is more of a cautionary tale, a meditation on the dangers of power.
Interesting.
And the limits of prophecy.
Which is so relevant to our world today.
It really is.
Even though Dune is set in this like distant future, those themes of political manipulation and religious fanaticism and ecological exploitation, they resonate deeply with contemporary issues.
They do. I mean, that's part of like the enduring power of Dune.
Yeah.
It's a work of science fiction.
Right.
But it's ultimately about the human condition. These timeless struggles for power and control.
For sure.
The choices we make and the consequences that follow.
And those consequences, they're often messy and unpredictable.
They are.
Dune Messiah doesn't shy away from that.
No, it doesn't.
It challenges our expectations and kind of forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about leadership and faith and the nature of reality itself.
It's a really thought-provoking book.
It is.
Yeah.
Which is what makes it such a compelling story to adapt.
It does.
I can only imagine the visual metaphors that Villeneuve will employ.
I know, me too.
To capture those complex ideas on screen.
Yeah, he's a master of visuals.
He is.
So I'm excited to see what he does.
I'm picturing a stark contrast to like the vastness of Dune.
Oh, okay.
Maybe part 3 will feel more claustrophobic.
Oh, okay.
More intimate, reflecting Paul's internal struggles.
That would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, using that visual language to mirror the psychological shifts in the story.
Yeah.
It would be a bold choice, but Villeneuve has proven that he's not afraid to take risks.
He's not afraid to take risks, no. And speaking of risks, a lot of fans are speculating about whether Villeneuve might go beyond this planned trilogy.
Right.
Do you think we might see more of the Dune universe on screen?
I think it's possible.
Okay.
I mean, the source material's there.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And he has expressed his love for this world.
He has.
But I think it depends on a couple of things.
Okay, like what?
Well, obviously the success of these first 3 films.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But also Villeneuve's own creative drive.
Yeah.
Does he feel like he has more stories to tell in this universe?
Yeah, that's a good point. It can't just be about box office numbers.
Exactly.
It has to be a project that he's passionate about.
It does.
Something that he feels compelled to bring to life.
Yeah, he has to have that fire in his belly.
Yeah, and from what we've seen so far, he's approaching this with the kind of care and attention that suggests a deep connection to the source material.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think that's what really resonates with fans.
Oh, yeah.
You can sense that he's not just going through the motions.
Right.
He's genuinely invested in bringing this world to life in a way that honors Frank Herbert's legacy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say he does decide to venture beyond this initial trilogy. Okay. Where do you think he might go next?
That's a good question.
What other stories from the Dune universe
would
you be excited to see him adapt?
Well, I mean, the obvious choice would be Children of Dune.
Okay.
Which picks up where Dune Messiah left off.
Right.
And it delves even deeper into the political and religious ramifications of Paul's actions. And it introduces some fascinating new characters.
How about that?
But honestly, I think any of those later books could provide really fertile ground for adaptation.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much there.
Imagine the possibilities.
I know.
But for now, we have Dune Part 3 to look forward to.
We do.
And based on what we've gleaned from this Marist Station article, it sounds like it's going to be a wild ride.
It does.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that Villeneuve is going to push boundaries and challenge expectations. And I, for one, can't wait to see how it all unfolds.
Me neither.
Yeah.
But before we get swept away by speculation, let's take a step back and consider the source of all this information.
Yeah.
This Marist Station article itself.
Okay.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement.
It is.
But it's important to remember that.
No.
But it's important to remember that we're basing all of this speculation on like a single article.
Right.
It's not an official announcement from the studio or anything.
It's not like Villeneuve himself sat down and gave an interview.
Exactly. And even Marist Station acknowledges that things could change.
Yeah. I mean, plans change.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like release dates can shift.
Yeah.
Creative visions can evolve. And sometimes projects just, get shelved altogether.
Sadly, that happens.
It happens. But even with all those warnings, this Marist Station article does offer a tantalizing glimpse into what might be. And for Dune fans, that's enough to spark endless discussion and speculation.
For sure. I mean, it's like they've given us this puzzle box.
That's a good analogy.
And we're all just trying to figure out how the pieces fit together.
That's a good way to put it. And that's part of the fun, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, we get to engage with the source material and with Villeneuve's interpretations and with our own hopes and expectations for the future of this saga.
Yeah, it's like a community thing.
It is. It's collaborative.
Yeah. And speaking of theories, this article included a line that really stuck with me.
Okay.
They said, another time, it's time to wait to see how the story of Paul Atreides ends. We hope and pray that this time the wait is shorter.
Yeah.
Simple statement.
It is.
But it speaks volumes about the emotional investment fans have in this saga.
It really does. It highlights the fact that we're not just passively consuming entertainment.
Right.
We're actively engaging with these stories, with these characters, with these worlds.
Yeah, we're invested in their fates, and we want to see how their journeys unfold.
We want to know what happens.
Yeah, and that's what makes this Wait for Dune Part 3 both exciting and agonizing.
It is.
We have these little breadcrumbs of information, these hints and whispers about what might be.
Right.
But we're left suspended in anticipation.
Yeah.
eager for the next chapter to unfold.
I know, it's like standing at the edge of the desert.
Oh, I like that.
Knowing that there's this vast, uncharted territory ahead.
Yeah.
But you have to wait for the sandstorm to clear before you can venture forth.
Oh, I love that image.
Yeah.
And it perfectly encapsulates the feeling I get when I think about the future of Dune.
I know. There's just so much potential.
Yeah.
So much left to explore.
But we have to be patient.
Well, we do.
Yeah, the story will unfold in its own time.
It will, and that's a good thing.
That's true.
Rush productions rarely capture the essence of a complex work.
That's a good point.
Like Dune.
Yeah.
It's better to wait for a film that honors Herbert's legacy and leaves a lasting impact.
I couldn't agree more so to all our fellow Dune enthusiasts out there.
Yeah.
Let's embrace the wait.
Yeah.
Let's delve back into the books.
Let's revisit them.
Let's dissect every frame.
Yes.
Of those first two films, and let's just keep those imaginations burning bright.
That's right. Keep the fire alive.
The future of Dune is out there waiting to be discovered.
It is.
And when it finally arrives, I have a feeling it'll be well worth the journey.
I think so too.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the future of Dune.
Of course, my pleasure.
We can't wait to see what unfolds, and we hope you'll join us again for more explorations into the world that fascinates us.
Absolutely.
Until next time. May your spice be ever in your favor.
May it flow.